one ever tells you what it's like to love and lose, how it feels to waken and have breakfast with the blues, how to go on living, how to face another day. No one ever tells you the way, and no one ever tells you how it feels to walk alone, listening for those footsteps through the echo of your own. All at once it hits you, all those dreams weren't worth a dime, 'cause no one ever tells you in time.
Hello everyone, this is Lawrence. Let me get in front of the camera and talk about this album, a track you were listening to from the album. Hello everyone. I hope everyone's doing well. Everyone. I seem to like that word. Let me turn on this light. And we're going to talk about Johnny Desmond album, Blue Smoke. Isn't that a beautiful cover? Really fits the mood of the music on this album. And off to his shoulder there is a woman. About a year back, I have a very good friend who is a vinyl thrift store collector as well. We met at a thrift store and we got to talking, and we've since become really good, close friends. And what I like about this friend of mine, he's just not a rock and roll guy. He likes every genre of music from the past and the present. Okay, we have the same love of music, and thrift stores you can find some really eclectic music. And anyway, this friend of mine came over with this album. I've never heard of Johnny Desmond. He never rose to the ranks or the popularity of a Tony Bennett or Frank Sinatra, which is a shame because, as you heard, he has a beautiful voice. And so anyway, he brought this record over and I listened to it and I just, oh my God, I fell in love with this artist. Okay, and anyway, I listened to it and that it was great. The other day I found this album at a thrift store, paid $1 for it, and it's let me pull it off. Pretty good condition. It's on Columbia 6i. It does have some surface noise on it, but not enough to ruin the listening. In fact, a lot of people would say just enough to add to the ambiance of the recording. So the album's in pretty good condition. So is the cover. It has, your normal, aging wear on the sides, but the cover is beautiful and fits the music precisely. The wonderful thing about this album, it only has 2 musicians on it. Tony Mottola, guitar. Tony Mottola is a renowned jazz guitarist who has played with Saint Frank Sinatra. Okay, look him up. I came to know him through his recordings he did with Command Records. And Bob Haggart, Haggart, bass. So you only have 2 musicians on this album, which really gives Johnny a lot of vocal room. He's not. He doesn't have to surrender to, musical parts. Like the brass comes in and all that. It's just Johnny Desmond with two musicians. The the theme of this album is very apparent on the cover. It's the broken heart. Love has let me down. As you heard in the song I played, no one ever told me. No one ever told me of what love would be like when it goes bad. You heard on the lyrics, which is a common theme with the Frank Sinatra albums, concept albums of the 1950s, and I'll hold a few of them up. One of his most famous one in the Wee Small Hours. Love that cover artwork. This is an ode to late night loneliness and having your heart broken. Another one, No One Cares. Where Are You? Look at that illustration. And probably one of Frank's most famous album, Only the Lonely. All of these are sad, romance gone wrong, you're blue. And Frank in the 50s, he's credited for coming up with the concept album instead of what before albums would contain a few really popular songs with filler. With the Frank Sinatra albums, he was the artist that came up with an album that the selection of songs is to fit a mood. And the more happier moods for the Sinatra albums are albums like what I'm showing you. Songs for swinging lovers. He always has a smile. Come dance with me. Anyway, back to Johnny. Excuse me. This is kind of off of, I'm just gathering my thoughts here. Okay, Only the Lonely. There's a song called One More for My Baby. And it's a song of, a guy with a broken heart. He broke up with his girl. And he's in a bar just, drinking away and spilling his guts out to the bartender. Classic song. Go and look it up and listen to it. That song, is the theme of that song is this entire album here. Okay, just a guy, heartbroken. He's in a bar, just drinking his sorrows. And maybe a stranger comes up to him, maybe the bartender, and he's just spilling his guts out. Johnny had a very great voice, and I'm just discovering him. Yeah, I've been looking at YouTube videos, and really detailed depth emotions to his voice, as you can tell. So, if you ever run across this album at a thrift store that's playable and you have a curiosity or a liking for this type of vocal style, don't pass this album up. Okay. One other artist I want to spotlight, and this video kind of ties in with my previous video of the great female vocal artists of the 30s, 40s, and 50s, and I showed you all my CD collection of them. Oh, my phone just got all charged up. Okay. Um, Another great vocal artist, and she was married to Steve Lawrence, and they were a very famous duel, playing Vegas and supper clubs and all that. Is Eydie Gorme. Okay. And I purchased this album. I wasn't familiar with her music, but I liked this album cover. And this is when she was on ABC Paramount Records, the old label. I'll show you the label. I just love label artwork back then. That kind of disappeared with the downloading. Anyway, so I purchased this album. I liked the cover, and I said, let me get familiar with her music. I fell in love with her voice. She is a magnificent singer, one of the great female vocalists of all time. I don't own any CDs of her, but I'm glad I got some vinyl. So if you ever run across this album in playable condition, buy it. And I have a few more too. So when I run across Blue Smoke, and I love the title, Blue Smoke, it's just perfect title for the mood of this album. I also ran across another ABC album of hers, and right there, the cover is a little confusing. This came out in the late 50s. It's a Don Costa production arrangement. Also, the other album was a Don Costa. Love is a Season. Okay, so I guess season, one season here and another there, and great pictures on the back. A very retro feel. And this album is just as good as the other one. It was in great condition, and it even had the original inner sleeve jacket. So anything I find of her that's on the ABC Paramount label, that's in playable condition, I will buy. This album here, this is actually on United Artists. The wall-to-wall sound special production. Command Records started the process of experimenting in the stereo sound, and other record companies followed up with putting the technical information on the inner sleeve. Anyway, this album, isn't that a beautiful cover? Okay. Steve and Eydie, and the cover is in great condition along with the vinyl. United Artists, and they're doing two on the aisle. Okay, Steve Lawrence, Eydie Gorme singing selections from Cabaret, Bye Bye Birdie, Wonderful Town, basically Broadway tunes. I just love the cover and the backdrop, and they look so young. They look like they're really in love, and they were, because when you listen to this album, it's like two lovebirds singing to each other. So I'm glad I have this. I'm glad I found it in this condition. And Steve himself was a great vocalist as well. They really sounded great together. One other thing, I have Eydie's greatest hits when she was on the Capitol label, and one song I want to point out, If He Walks Into the Room. Her vocals are just absolutely stunning. And I'm going to provide a link to her singing this song. She actually won a Grammy, I guess for Best Female Vocalist or something, I don't remember, regarding this song, her vocal performance. She really digs into to the vocals with emotional expression. So that's my video. I'm going to do one more. I'm trying to do one a day. Just to conclude, is I got into vinyl collecting from thrift stores. I really ran into or discovered some great eclectic music that I thought I would never been into, and a lot of times it's the album cover that could draw me into a particular genre or music. So anyway, I'm happy to share those with you. So please leave a comment. Please subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to do video day. Subscribe to my channel if you're a big thrift store vinyl collector, because that's kind of my specialty. My next video will be a release of 180 gram. I'm into that too, so watch that as well. Thank you for watching. Everyone have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye.